All right, so we see the mosques, Muslim house of worship. Hopefully, you know that now because we've been singing about that in our song for like 2 weeks now. Arabic literature. So obviously, the most famous piece of Arabic literature would be the Quran, but there's going to be a lot of poetry as well. And one of the things that we have to think about here: why is storytelling going to be so prized for the Arabs? Is being good at telling stories? Well, think about it. These folks were going in camel caravans for hundreds and thousands of years. You know, they're in the desert. They've got their campfire around them. What are they going to do? They're going to tell stories, just like how, when you guys go around, a bonfire today, you might go and, tell spooky ghost stories to your friends and things like that. And so it's the storytelling is going to be so important because it's going to be so instrumental to just their entertainment for their day. And we still have some of their stories. Ali Baba, the 40 Thieves, that's a common one. You guys have probably heard about that. You've heard all of Aladdin. I mean, come on, if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have that Prince Ali. I mean, Disney made that part up, but it's based off Aladdin. This is my favorite joke for this whole PowerPoint. It's the Aladdin Peek Abu book because peekaboo and it's Abu the monkey. Okay, Aiden gets an A. Everyone else F minus minus. Okay, yeah, there we go. Thanks, Aiden. High five. So we have a lot of great stories. 1001 Nights, also Rubaiyat, things that you had in your reading as well. So literature, storytelling going to be very important. So we're going to see some great works of literature, being done. Once again, we see what was valued by a civilization, and storytelling literature was something valued, and it still even lasts today and is in popular culture, which is pretty cool if you ask me. Thank you, Elijah. I appreciate you recognizing my amazing humor. Oh man, you guys are the best. You guys are the best. All right, we want to move on to philosophy. We're not going to write a lot about philosophy here because we're in sixth grade, for Pete's sakes. We're not going to be philosophers. But basically, what you need to know is that with the philosophy that we're going to have for Muslims coming from this time, they aren't going to just invent things themselves. They're going to look at what the Greeks did. They're going to look what the Hindus and Buddhists did. And then they're going to combine some of those ideas coming from their own faith. And just like how we haven't done that yet. We're going to do that in the end of the year. But we're going to see with like Thomas Aquinas, this idea of faith and reason can go together. And so it's really interesting. Like around the same time where Europeans are like, there used to be this fight between science and faith. And then people like Thomas Aquinas were like, no, we can go together. And then for Muslims at the same time are thinking the same thing of how like faith and science and reason can all go together and be awesome. Oh man, wow, Aiden just broke my heart. So we need to know that Arab philosophies are going to combine things that are in the nearby regions from Greece, India. Okay, so like we said, we didn't have to write a lot here because this is kind of above our pay grades. Mathematics. Now, this is going to be huge. Now, all those numbers we have, that you use every day, that Miss Lou gets in the checks with all those zeros, those are Arabic numerals. Now, really, the best term would be Indo-Arabic numerals because their true foundations are going to be in India. Then the Arabs are going to be doing a ton of trading with them, or going to take them, adapt them slightly, and then have what we have today are 0 through 10. Yeah, thank you very much. Algebra, which I think this is really cool because we look at the Arabic algebra and how like the English transliteration is just algebra. It's like the same exact word. So if you were speaking to an Arab speaker, you could say it and they would know exactly what you're talking about. And what's cool is like algebra, you're finding what X is, usually restoring what is missing is what it means. And this math is super duper important. If it was not for algebra, a lot of the technology we have today wouldn't exist. So Al-Khwarizmi is going to do a ton of great things that is going to affect you literally. And you guys probably never even heard of him before. So, but once again, though, we're going to see that the Arabs aren't just going to be in a vacuum. They're going to build off of what the Greeks and what Indians had done and create even more better stuff. Oh, man, you make me laugh so much. All right, I'd like to move on, okay? Oh, is that a hand up? Is that a question? I would love a question. No, he's just like, I'm just twirling my pencil because I'm bored with you. Well, I thought you had a hand up for a second, okay? So here we see the evolution of our numerals. So this is the ones we use today if you weren't sure. This is how it started, and then, until what we got. I like how this one, like, which is real close, is like all super similar. Then like 4 is just like this weird monstrosity, and that their 5 kind of looks like a 4. Although it looks kind of similar to like a Mr. Kenny 5 as well. All right, medicine. So we have, once again, Greek knowledge being built upon with it. And what's really great, like we kind of talked about with our homework, is that like public health is going to be like at a high point during our golden age of Islam. And part of it was because they actually trained doctors. Like we said, if it was Europe, Sarah could just decide one day to be a doctor, not go to school, and just start practicing medicine and be like, oh, Amer, you have a cold? Here's what they would do if Amer had a sore throat in Europe at this time. Sarah would say, okay, we're going to get a string, and we're going to tie worms on the string, and you're going to wear that around your neck. And by the time all the worms were dead, which was going to be about 2 weeks, your throat will feel better. Guess what? It got better in about 2 weeks without worms on your neck, too. But yeah, that was that was some of the medicine. Yeah. Or, I mean, they'd be like, oh, Claire Bear, you're sick. Here, let's put some leeches on you to suck your blood. What? Yeah, I know. Oh, man. Like, some of the things that they were doing, and like, so that's what's happening in like Europe. Whereas in, the Arabian Peninsula, like Mia is going to school and like learning how to be a doctor and learning how to do things. They had emergency rooms. That's right. So when you accidentally step on a nail that was sitting up and you weren't wearing shoes, I know, ouchies. It's going to happen to someone in here because it's a terrible thing. That's happened to you before, Emmy? Oh no! And you had to get a tetanus shot?
No, but it wasn't infected, but I got a thumbtack stuck in my foot.
Oh, ouchies. Yeah, I've gotten a thumbtack in my foot before too. It hurts. Yeah, we could take Emmy to the ER and go and have her worked on. Once again, by a doctor, oh man, that like actually knew what they were doing. Oh man, I can't wait till we get to Europe and we get to talk about some of the medicine. Some of the things that they would do in medicine, you are not going to believe. Oh man, like if you're throwing up and couldn't eat your food, they're like, we've got another way to get food in you. I'll leave it at that. I'll give you something to look forward to. Oh no, I can't believe Abby would just leave her earrings on the floor like that. Give her a high five for me, by the way. Not over, hurting you, but just because I miss her. Yeah, and they would even go visit nearby towns and jails and do all sorts of cool stuff. For here, you don't have to know Al-Razi, but you need to know that they wrote medical books, which is going to be some of the first medical books in the world. So from here, all you really need to know is that they wrote medical books, which is really helpful because, like I said, Mamma Mia can learn how to be a doctor as opposed to just, being a doctor. So yeah, they treated lots of diseases. They had all sorts of great knowledge. And it was like good information too. Like, it's not like modern science has disproven a lot of it. Things like smallpox, measles, they figured out how to solve it. This is smallpox. We're going to talk a lot about smallpox when we get to the Americas because it's going to wind up killing like, 90 to 95% of the people that live in America. I know, gross, right? You can open your eyes now, darling. And as we had in our homework, they learned that blood circulates from the heart. Yeah, it's true. Blood circulates from the heart. And this, of course, is all happening during the Abbasid Caliphate. Oh, if you're disturbed by that, wait till we talk about the things in Europe, let me tell you. And we see a huge trade network, cultural diffusion during our Abbasid time of art, education, and trade. And that is the golden age, my cherubs, our notes for the day. So I'm stopping